Good morning, everyone. Just come on in. We're going to start at 10:03. Um, we'll go over housekeeping things in a few minutes, but just welcome. Thanks for taking the time to come in, participate with us today. We're going to give people a few minutes to get in, and then we'll get started shortly after 10. Good morning and welcome, everyone. We are excited to see you all here. Just a few housekeeping things. If you all can hold your questions until the end of the presentation, we're going to open up a question and answer where you can type in your question or you can come off mute and ask your questions at that point. But we ask for you not to put any questions or anything in the chat right now or the question and answer. I will direct you guys when that opens up, and then you can talk to us and talk to the representatives from the city and get all of your questions answered. We're glad that you all are here today, and we're excited for you to find out about this program and this funding opportunity. We are going to give people a few minutes to actually log on, so we'll probably start right at 10:03. Good morning. We have some new people joining us. Good morning, everyone. We are excited to have you participate in this webinar this morning. We're going to give people a couple of minutes to still log on. Just a few housekeeping things. Please hold your questions until the end of the presentation. We are going to open up and give everybody ample time to ask their questions. You can either type your question in the Q&A at that time, or you can raise your hand and ask your question live. We're excited to present today, and we want everybody to get a chance to get all their questions answered. So please don't put questions in the chat until we instruct you. So we're excited that you're here today. Everybody is popping in, but we're going to start right around 10:03. Now, if you do find yourself where you have some type of technical issue, that's the only time we're asking you to let us know. If you can't hear the presentation and or you can't see something, let us know so we can try to problem solve that. But as far as questions for the webinar, we're asking you to hold that until the end of the presentation. We have a whole section set aside just to answer your questions. Everybody for saying good morning. Good morning to everyone. Um, just going over the housekeeping rules as people add to our meeting this morning. We're asking that you hold all of your questions until the end of the presentation. We have ample time for you to either type your question in the Q&A or come off mute and ask your question live. Please do not put any questions in the chat until we have finished the presentation. The only exception is if you're having technical problems or issues. We want to make sure that you can see and hear everything. Okay, we're going to go ahead at it's 10:03 and get started. This is the Workforce Solutions webinar, and I'm going to hand it off to our city representative, Mr. David Diaz.
Hey everyone, good morning and thank you for joining us today. As mentioned, my name is David Diaz and I assist with the Workforce Solutions Program with the city's Department of Planning and Development, or DPD. And joining me is my colleague Lihia Ivares, who manages the program. We want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend today's webinar and to become acquainted with our program. We are very appreciative of all your outstanding work as small business owners. Your dedication and drive are what makes Chicago a truly exceptional city. We understand that running a business comes with unique challenges, from staying competitive in a fast-moving market to attracting and retaining skilled workers. And that is one of the reasons why this program is a grant, as a grant is so important. It is designed to help stretch your training budget further by reimbursing up to 100% of eligible training costs for current employees and new hires, with a maximum grant award of $250,000. Whether you're growing your team or helping current staff learn new skills, this program makes workforce development more affordable. The Workforce Solutions Program is an enhanced iteration of a legacy program that some of you may be familiar with. Over the past years, we've made significant improvements that will allow us to support more businesses across the city. And to further that effort, joining us today is our Program Administrator, Employment and Employer Services, who will be walking us through the presentation. If you've had the pleasure of working with them before, you know firsthand how valuable they are in supporting Chicago's small business community. They will be instrumental in guiding applicants through the application process and ensuring smooth project management. Additionally, please don't hesitate to reach out to DPD directly and use our office as a resource. We are here to support your business and we're ready to listen and offer support in any way we can. Thank you for being here today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Anissa Jones, who's the Senior Vice President for E&ES.
Great. Thank you so much, David. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anissa Jones. I am a Senior Vice President with Employment and Employer Services. We are very grateful for this opportunity to partner with DPD for the Workforce Solutions Program. A little bit about E&ES. We've been around since 1983, and we've supported different businesses and community residents throughout Chicago for over 40 years. Our goal at E&ES is to advance the economic foundation of communities by helping to develop a skilled workforce. And we're very excited to be able to do that with the city of Chicago and partner with different businesses to help them to achieve their goals through the Workforce Solutions Program. As the program administrator for the Workforce Solutions Program, we will be responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations of the Workforce Solutions Program. We'll work really closely with each business and nonprofit to support you through the application process from the beginning to end by providing you with technical and hands-on assistance to make sure that you have a successful experience through the full life cycle of your grant. We are very committed to strengthening Chicago's businesses and nonprofits by helping them to upskill and train their workforce. And we again thank DPD for this opportunity and looking forward to the information that'll be covered today. I'll now turn the presentation over to Audrey Johnson, who will lead us through the informational webinar. You're on mute, Audrey.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Audrey Johnson. I am the program director of Workforce Solutions, and I am here to support your work. So let's just dive into our presentation. So what we're going to cover today, what is Workforce Solutions, eligibility and funding, grant calculator examples, ineligible businesses, business location, application process, reimbursement, visits and monitoring, closeout steps, frequently asked questions, next steps, additional resources, and we're going to do the QA. I am going to ask everybody, please do not put questions in the Q&A right now. Please don't raise your hand. Please don't put things in the chat. We have a section set aside specifically just for answering your questions at the end of the presentation. So please hold them until then. But if you have a technical issue, please reach out to us. Thank you so much. What is Workforce Solutions? Workforce Solutions grant covers qualified training for current employees, upskilling, and new hire on-the-job training, leadership development, technology, skills, and much more. Workforce Solutions reimbursement grants are funded through the City of Chicago via Tax Increment Financing. This is what's called a TIF. Proceeds from the Housing and Economic Development Bond. Grants may fund up to 100% of eligible expenses for businesses seeking to train current employees or new hires. Eligibility requirements. If you are located in, if you're expanding into or relocating to the city of Chicago, you will be eligible. Workforce training for permanent full-time and or permanent part-time staff. Commitment to remain in the community area for at least 3 years. Financially prepared to support the training costs up front. $250,000 grant limit with 3 years waiting period after the limit is reached. Eligible industries, non-for-profits, food service, tourism, hospitality, healthcare and life sciences, manufacturing and industrial, information technology, real estate, finance, insurance, retail, energy, education and training, transportation, distribution, and logistics. Now, of course, this is not an all-inclusive list. So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about if your industry is eligible or not. What will Workforce Solutions fund? The Workforce Solutions program can fund trainings, Trainings for who? Trainings for your current employees. Training for new hires on the job, but those new hires must be Chicago residents. Training for leadership development. Instruction, instructor wages, like your trainer wages. Trainer fees for your incumbent or current workers. Training supplies and materials, but those must be associated directly to your training costs. Training rental of equipment. Customized training curriculum. That's all covered under the program. This is a funding overview. The Workforce Solutions Program is a reimbursement grant that can fund up to 100% of your total eligible project costs, up to a standard maximum of $250,000. So if you look here on the chart, projects eligible for 100% reimbursement are those that are up to 1.5 million in annual sales. So from 0 to 1.5 million, 100% of your costs are eligible. Or if you have a maximum of 40 full-time employees, that will also qualify you to be 100% of eligible costs. And all non-for-profits, regardless of their annual sales, get 100% of eligible costs covered. In addition, there's a contribution match, and it's based on your business size. Contributions may include expenses not already included in the project cost, such as wages for staff used to assist with training, materials and supplies used to support training, wages paid to incumbent employees during training. So if you look at the chart, you would but you would have a 25% contribution if you are up to 5 million in annual sales. So from 1.5 million to 5 million. Or if you have a maximum of 125 full-time staff, that's 25% match or 50% match if you're exceeding 5 million in annual size or have more than 125 staff. Grant calculator. Example, 25% match. So we just talked about that. Here's a more example. Lori submits an application for Workforce Solutions Grant in an open funded TIF community. She is proposing training with a total eligible cost of $100,000 for her incumbent current workers, providing training. Over the past 3 years, Lori's hospitality business has grossed $4 million in annual sales. The breakdown of Lori's eligible costs are the following. Total eligible project, what she's asking for, $100,000 for her training. Her commercial business is between the 1.5 up to 5 million. That means there's a 25% match. She still is applying for $100,000. That's what she can be granted, but she's going to show us through how she's contributing to that training by showing us the investment that they're making up to $25,000. Here's another example, but at the 50 match. These are for individuals over 5 million in annual sales. Sam submits an application for the Workforce Solution Grant in an open TIF community area. He's proposing his training with a total eligible cost of $200,000 for 20 current employees. Sam's a manufacturing company who employs 250 employees. The breakdown of Sam's eligible costs are as followed. His total project cost would be $200,000. His business is over 125 employees, so this puts him in a 50% business contribution. Workforce Solutions grant is for $200,000. His contribution through match is $100,000. Grant calculate example where there's no match or no contribution. Jessica applies for Workforce Solution Grant and is eligible in a TIF community that's funded. Her nonprofit organization serves the homeless at shelters throughout the city of Chicago. She is proposing training with the total eligible cost of $125,000 for her current incumbent worker training, and she's going to also apply for on-the-job training for 2 new hire positions. Over the past 3 years, her non-for-profit has grossed $450,000 a year. The breakdown for Jessica goes as following. Her total project cost is $125,000. Her grant is given at $125,000. She does not have to show any match where she's contributing to that training. So if you are below 1.5 or you're a non-for-profit, you do not have to show a match. You fall up under zero match contribution. Ineligible business organizations, chain businesses, branch banks, employment agencies, religious worship institutions, currency exchanges, payday loan stores, pawn shops, astrology palm reading stores, K through 12 schools, gas stations, liquor stores, bars and nightclubs, smoke shops, cigar lounges, adult uses, firearm stores, shooting ranges, massage parlors, hotel or motels, residential storage warehouse, track waging facilities, trailer storage yards, and junkyards. Again, this list is not inclusive of every ineligible business. If you have any questions, please reach out to us and we'll try to respond to you. What about our business location? So you can be not in a TIF district. Apply and E&ES will discuss options for you with other potential funding opportunities. In a TIF district with no funding, not currently eligible for the Workforce Solutions Program, but E&ES will notify you if and when future funding may be available. All are welcomed and encouraged to apply. If you feel you need to upskill and training is needed for your current employees on your current payroll, or you are hiring new employees to enhance the success of your business, we would encourage you to apply for this grant. This fits your needs. Currently, TIF funding for your business in one of our 35 funded TIF districts is designated for Workforce Solutions. So 35 TIF areas we already are funded for. Other funding may be available, so even if you're outside these 35 TIFs, we still encourage you to apply. But here's the list: 105th in Vincennes, 119th in Halsted, 119th in I-57, 35th in Halsted, 47th in Ashland, 47th in Halsted, 47th in King Drive, 47th in State, 53rd Street, 71st in Stony Island, 79th in Southwest Highway, 79th in Vincennes, 87th in Cottage Grove, Austin Commercial, Avalon Park, South Shore, Bronzeville, Chicago Central Park, Commercial Avenue, Division and Holman, Eston and Armstrong, Inglewood Neighborhood, Fullerton, Milwaukee, Greater Southwest East, Humboldt Park Commercial, Kinsey Industrial Corridor, Lawrence Broadway, Michigan Cermak, Pulaski Corridor, River West, Roseland, Michigan, Stevenson, Brighton, Washington Park, West Woodlawn, Wilson Yard, and Woodlawn. These are our current 35 funded TIFs. Business locations. Applications are open for all 35 TIFs, including the whole Workforce Solutions Program. We do have a TIF locator tool when you want to find out if you fall within one of these 35 areas. but we rely on the city clearinghouse. So send us your address. We will verify it with the city and get back to you within a day or two. How do I apply? So we have created a Workforce Solutions website page that makes it easy where you can get at all of the access information. If you look at here, this is the front page of the Workforce Solutions program. And right in this second navy blue, it says submit application. When you submit and click on there, that application, it takes you to the platform Submittable. Submittable is where we're actually utilizing for you to submit the grant. If you have currently, we can go to the next slide. If you have currently previously been a submittable user, your login and password will still work. Once you click that blue button, it will bring you right here where it says DPD Planning and Development. This is submittable. And if you look down at the bottom, you can create an account if you've never been on Submittable before, or you can use your old login. This allows you to go directly onto the grant to view all of the questions and start the grant process. The initial application review process to determine pre-eligibility takes approximately 1 to 2 weeks to complete after you have completed your application. So here is a timeline that's tentative and subject to change, but I want to walk you through the process. And also bond-funded applications timelines will vary from this. So this is more for those who sit in TIF areas. So eligibility notification and training assessment is 1 to 2 weeks. Subject requirement for all of your documents, about a week. Then we have to go through document approval. There's a receipt agreement that would need to be signed. That process takes 3 to 4 weeks. And then executing the contract and processes would take about 3 weeks. So starting with step 1, after you submit your application, the application is notified of their eligibility via submittable and asked to complete a training needs assessment. Step 2, the application proceeds with submitting required documentation. The applicant, I'm sorry. Step 3, once the documents are reviewed and approved, E&ES sends applicant the receipt agreement to review and sign. Step 4, applicant submits executed receipt agreement to E&ES. Step 5, applicant is notified that contract has been executed and processed and the business received a conditional award letter. Then and only then can the applicant begin their training or hiring for new employees. The applicant approval. There is a check that must be done. The scofflaw and indebtedness check must be completed, and it's a part of the approval process. These documents are very time sensitive and will, once they're provided to you, would need to be completed and submitted as soon as possible. We want to make sure you're in compliance with child support laws. We're going to verify that there is no debts owed to the city, and you have to complete an economic disclosure statement. There are other required documents: training needs assessment, proof of revenue, 3 years of financial statements, certificate of insurance. And I want to slow down here just a little bit. So the city has certain guidelines on insurance. Make sure you're in line with that. There is not only you have to carry workman's compensation insurance, you have to have commercial general liability. If you have a vehicle that's attached to the business, you're going to need to have automobile liability. And then there's also a umbrella, which is at $2 million per occurrence. Most of the guidelines are at least up to $1 million for each accident and 2 million for your aggregate. But this is one of the things that when we're submitting these documents, You're going to be working with myself and my team to make sure that you meet all the requirements and that you're doing everything so it doesn't slow down your process. There's also program policy and procedures that you have to read the policy and procedure manual, and then you're going to submit us a statement that you had completed that. Your economic disclosure statement we mentioned earlier, principal profile, child support affidavit, copy of your business license, and if you're a non-for-profit, your 5031 verification. Monitoring protocol requirement, that's a form we're gonna give you, you're gonna complete and fill out. Your Arch banking information, so you can get your direct deposit for your reimbursement. We need to take some time to make sure when you're putting your training curriculum together, your schedule, when these trainings are going to take place. We're going to need the training information for the third-party organization that you're using. We're going to need their resumes and their references, and proof of the training costs. What have you been estimated by the trainer? What have you been quoted? How much training is going to take place to train the different people and different groups at your location. And then also job descriptions for any new hire position that you are going to be bringing on to your staff. We would need the job description. Reimbursement for eligible costs. So vouchers and documentation can be submitted for reimbursement. This is after the training sessions have completed and training providers are paid or wages are paid for new on-the-job training. You would submit your vouchers and documentation. How frequent? Incumbent working training, up to 3 vouchers may be submitted during the contract term. 3 invoices that cover the training that you're going to be completing. Regarding on-the-job training, monthly for a maximum of 13 weeks. So every month at the end of the 4 weeks, you can submit your payroll, and then we will start working on your reimbursement. This is for retention and closeout. Reimbursement for eligible costs. So I'm going to go through these steps so you can try to see the process. Documents submitted for reimbursement. You have voucher forms, invoices, receipts that you have paid, proof of payment, sign-in sheets must be completed for every training. And then for on-the-job training, we need to see proof that wages have been paid in the form of a pay stub. Step 2, review and approval of submitted documents by E&ES and DPD. Reimbursement can take 6 to 8 weeks depending on the vouchers and the documentation and how accurate and complete it is. So our team will be coming out to your location. We'll be doing site visits and interacting with you while training is taking place. We will take pictures. We'll talk to your staff and see if they're enjoying the training. We'll talk to the trainer. So this is a way of us making visits and staying in touch with what you guys are doing and how successful you're doing it. So you're also going to agree upon monitoring and compliance check-ins, submissions of all required attendance and wage reports, scheduled visits to observe training while it's taking place, business stays in community for at least 3 years after having received the grant. You should still be in the same community at the same location. Agreed upon annual follow-up discussions for 3 years to discuss business needs, post-training, to see how everything is going. And those can be also follow-ups, can include phone calls and emails between us. So now you've done your training, you've invoiced, and we're going to the closeout steps. Closeout reports and final voucher documentation must be submitted when all training has been completed. This will be your last voucher. Training business goals will be noted at the start of the contract period. The closeout report provides a summary of what the trainees accomplished, what kind of impact that they have, return on your investment, and any challenges that you might have faced throughout the process. Pending funding grant agreement, applicant may be eligible for a 2% administrative compensation upon completion of all of the closeout reports. We have put together a list of frequently asked questions. You will, at the end of this presentation, get a copy of that as well with this presentation and the video so that you can go through the information in more detail. Next steps. Applications for all the 35 TIFs are being accepted right now. Everything is open. We do have 7 TIF areas that are expiring in December of 2025. That is 105th and Vincennes, 53rd Street, 79th and Southwest Highway, Humble Park, Michigan, Cermak, River West, and Wilson Yard. If you are in any of these areas, please call us ASAP so we can help you get your application in because time is of the essence with these 7 TIFs. Here's some great resources that you all can take advantage of. Even if you apply for Workforce Solutions grant, you can also, these are other grants that are supported by Department of Planning and Development. You know, check them out, see if they are a benefit to assist you as well. Again, my name is Audrey Johnson. I am the Program Director of Workforce Solutions. Take a moment and note down the Workforce Solutions email where you can reach me, my phone number, and then this HTTPS is our Workforce Solutions website page that we took you to earlier where you can start your application process. We also have Lahia Everez information with who's the coordinator of economic development with DPD, and her email and the City of Chicago's Workforce Solutions website page. We are excited to present for you today. I hope that we answered a lot of your questions, but we are going to open up the Q&A at this point. You can type in a question or you can raise your hand or come off mute and ask a question live. David and myself are here to answer questions for you, and we have partners who are behind the scenes answering your Q&A questions. So please let us know if you have a question. See everybody. Okay, I see Allison, you can come off mute and ask your question. Allison McCain Stevenson. Can you come off mute because we can't hear you? Okay, what about Alicia Ozier? Can you come off mute so we can hear your question? She said we cannot come off mute. Anissa, is there any way to allow them to come off mute now? Can I unmute them? Let me see.
We can just go ahead and maybe rattle off some of the questions in the chat then in the
Yeah.
meantime.
Yep.
That works.
Yes. David, do you want to go ahead and grab the first question? I'm going to see if I
Sure.
can get
So
off
from
mute.
Alicia Ozier, can a for-profit be eligible? I don't know if this is meant as a nonprofit, but yes. a for-profit or nonprofit business can be eligible. You just have to be mindful of the different contributions levels if you exceed the number of headcount that was listed or the revenue of 1.5 to 5 million or 5 million and above. So both entity types are eligible.
Okay, we have
Okay.
another question in the chat that I can read here. So I'm located on the South State Street and 21st Street, and my address isn't located on the tip. Is there any way I can go about this to benefit this program for my grocery store?
Yes, so whether you're located in a TIF district or not, you can apply. The only caveat being if you're in a TIF district that doesn't have funding, that would be a different process or a potential wait list. But we again encourage everyone to apply. In your case, if you're not in a TIF, please go ahead and apply. Yes.
Mhm. And a little bit of housekeeping. I think we're having a bit of an issue with the Q&A feature. So if you do have a question that you put into the Q&A feature, please go ahead and drop that into the chat and we'll answer it through that.
Yeah, I've tried to give people access to come off mute too, and I'm not sure if Dakota, if you still have a question, but you can unmute if that's possible.
So I see a question from Allison. Please explain reimbursement grant more. Are you saying organizations must have training dollars available to begin program? No. So the reimbursement would be like, so you would have to submit. So if you're doing on the job training, the reimbursement component comes after the project is completed. Typically these contracts are between 9 months to a year. And so if you are either paying for a trainer for incumbent employees or new hires, that would have to be something that's vouchered for with the city, and then we would reimburse you after the fact. Um, so yes, this is something that requires a front end investment on the part of the grantee. Hopefully that answers your question, Allison.
Next, oh,
Yeah,
I can
so
read the next one if you want, David.
sure, yeah, that works. Thank you.
Yeah. What types of trainings are eligible? Are DEIB trainings eligible for reimbursement?
Those types of trainings are eligible. We would just want to see the curriculum to see what vendor it's being provided through. So yes, those trainings are eligible. That would fall under human resource, enrichment or development. So yes.
We're not an employer. This is from Mark Williams. We're not an employer, but we train and then refer trainees to employers. Can we apply? Do we have to be the employer of trainees?
Yeah, so this grant is geared toward small businesses and the employer would be the applicant. It is then incumbent upon them to retain a trainee. And so that's who this is primarily geared toward, the small business that is looking to either retain an employee, on the job training of a new employee, or the upskilling of a current employee. So that referral to be a potential trainee would require the business owner to retain the training program provider. So
Okay. Next question is from Lorraine. Can we have a recording of this webinar? I wasn't able to join from the start. I think I joined 10 minutes before the Q&A. So,
yes. So the PowerPoint and recorded version of this presentation will be made available on our website. So yes.
okay. Alicia, can the for-profit applicant provide training services to other small businesses in the TIF area?
I might be a little unclear on that question. Um, Can you rephrase it or just state it again for me, Anissa, please?
Yes. Can the for-profit applicant provide training services to other small businesses in the TIF area?
Hello?
Ye- Yeah,
Hello?
so is that Dakota Flowers' question or was that
Yeah,
somebody
yes,
else?
sir. That's Dakota Flowers. This is Dakota
Okay,
Flowers.
sure. So if you want to go ahead and
I my question was more regarding someone working with me personally to help me fill out the grant and things of that nature. Because I'm having a situation regarding um moving around like I would like to right now.
yeah,
I
so
was hoping maybe via phone call or something, or maybe
They
one of
can
the
just call.
yeah, so you can go ahead and just contact Audrey and she'll provide her and her team will provide that technical support in filling out the application. So
I
Can I
appreciate
just give out my number real quick? It's on the slide, but it's 312-380-9933. If you have any questions about if you sit in a TIF, if you don't sit in a TIF, anything related to the types of training, or help with the application process, just give me a call and we'll get you that information ASAP. And also, everybody who's attending will get a copy, like David said earlier, of the video of the presentation, frequently asked questions. You'll get all of that no later than tomorrow morning, but even by close of business today.
Next question is from Celicia Johnson. I work at U Chicago Medicine in the Urban Health Initiative. We're located in Hyde Park. Would our department be eligible to apply for this grant? I'm also curious to know if MOUs are allowed for this grant.
So the MOU part, a memorandum of understanding, I'm a little unclear on that. So to qualify for this, it would require a contract with the city of Chicago. So that would be, I guess, the MOU. For that wing of the University of Chicago, I believe they'd be eligible to apply as long as like the program isn't some type of terminal degree or like a degree seeking training, then they should be eligible. I'm not sure if it's classified as a 501(c)(3) or that gets a little murky for me, but if I haven't clearly answered that for you, be happy to follow up with that question in particular, just to make sure that, we give you all the information you need to move forward with whether or not you can apply. So, if that was a little ambiguous, apologies. I'll happy to follow up.
Mhm. And Celicia, you may be able to unmute now. It looks like that might be an option.
I think, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Just quick, I think you answered my question previously with another, with Mark's question. So thank you.
Okay, great. Erica Williams, I am the ED of a college workforce readiness program for students with disabilities. Is this something that could work for our scope of work? Many of our students come from the areas outlined. We provide internships and work placement.
I'm a little unclear on how this would be leveraged for that type of entity, honestly. Given the particular nature of that question, I think we'd have to follow up with you if that's okay.
Yeah, David, I agree with you. I feel like it would depend on if they were looking to upscale their own staff's abilities. So if you are applying because you want more training for your staff who would be serving those clients, that would be one thing. So if everybody could kind of really think about this program as far as giving you the benefit to strengthen the core of the staff that you have in incumbent training, and your new hires would be new hires to you, not the clients that you serve, but people who would come on board and be a part of your staff to do that heavy lifting of programming.
Yeah, and just to put a finer point on that, yeah, like this is again geared toward employers looking to upskill current employees or new hires, and that's open to for-profit and nonprofit businesses. The whole acting as a go-between or a third party or on behalf of a client, like, I don't know that this is suited for that tranche of applicants, so.
Okay. Would online training be eligible for a nonprofit that's just starting?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
It depends again on the nature of the programming. If it's like some type of software upskilling, then yes. But we would want to see the particulars of that proposal in your application. And then that's where like questions of eligibility or any follow-up questions or concerns would then be, had between us, E&ES, and you. So.
Okay. This next question is from Jess Larson. Are in-house trainings eligible for reimbursement? So could we cover costs for current managing staff to provide training to other staff? For additional context, the in-house trainer is a certified trainer through a separate entity.
I like to answer this one too, and maybe we both can answer it, David, but I know that we have been encouraged to make sure that you all find third-party trainers to do your training, because we're going to be vetting trainers to make sure that they have the ability to offer those trainings. But it would probably be better if you sought third party first. I think that it would only be under specific situations where the city might look at any type of in-house training. Would you agree with that,
Yeah,
David?
I don't think we want this to be looked at as like an indirect subsidy for internal
People.
curriculum or training. Yeah, so typically the trainer is a third party entity that then is vetted. So yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Allison. If your organization's offices are located in a TIF, but clients/staff are served, could we still apply? Oh, but if clients, staff served are not in a TIF, could we still apply?
Yeah, because this is not about the clients that you serve. This is about your staff and where they're located. So if your office is in a TIF and those are the individuals who you're going to provide the training for, that is what we're looking for. So we don't get into the details of who you're serving. I mean, we think that's great work, but we want to serve your staff and give training and upscale training to your individuals so they're better equipped to do the work of the business.
Yeah, that's correct. We care about the brick and mortar address of the applicant, not who they're servicing, through their through the services they provide or the goods they provide.
Okay. Well, it looks like maybe there's one more. Okay, one more. Dion Morgan, my team and I traveled to an annual conference out of state. Would travel expenses be covered under this grant?
I don't believe so. That's also like a situational question. I think so. Travel is usually eligible for, I think
The
if you're
trainer.
bringing the trainer to your facility, not if you're going out of state for some type of conference or something similar. So that would be the only way that like a travel expenditure would be permissible.
Okay. Well, that looks like it wraps up all the questions that we have submitted. So I think we're good.
Can
Audrey?
I address one, Anissa, that I
Sure.
didn't read, but I saw it when it was going through? Is there a list where we can use for reference for a third-party trainer? So we are working on that. So right now, I would encourage people to do your research, try to find those trainers that are here in Chicago who offer those type of trainings, but we are working together on a reference list, but we have to vet those trainers before we would offer them to you. But that's coming soon. In Workforce Solutions, we're working on it. But please do your research, try to find those trainers so that they can, talk to you about price and what their classes are, what they offer, and how they can be a benefit to your organization. And just stay in contact with us if you're having problems with that, but we are working on something.
Great. Well, if no one else has any additional questions, you all are free to leave, and thank you so much for joining us today. We do have about 10 more minutes, so we will stay on for anybody else that, if anything else comes to mind. But thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. We are here to support and help. So reach out and we will try to get all your questions answered, and to help you get started with applying for the grant. Let's say 2 new messages. Oh, no, they just said thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate you. Look forward to working with you all. I see you, Mr. Wilson. Thanks so much for joining.
Is that hand up by Janice Blanchard? Is that an old hand up or?
Janice, you can come off mute if you still want to ask your question live.
Yes, I had asked a question. I wanted to know, was there like a deadline to apply for this grant, or is it ongoing?
This is a rolling application for the time being, so please go ahead and apply as soon as you can. So funding is limited. It is based on a first come, first serve. So we do encourage you, depending on where you're located, to apply as soon as possible. So
Okay, all right, thank you.
Madeline had a question. One other question: we are a nonprofit. Can we apply for trainings from a third party that trains our staff to provide trainings to our clients? A train the trainers model.
I'm not running over nobody, Emma.
If you're not speaking, can you all please mute?
Oh,
So
sorry.
that's okay. So yes, you want to try to, that's okay if they're a third party trainer and they have trained for your staff in the past. That's okay. You can talk to them about price and things like that so that you can plan out your training, because you have to address that in your application, like who you're going to use as the third party, what information they're going to be training on.
Audrey, can you repeat your contact information?
Sure. You can reach me at 312-380-9933. Again, 312-380-9933. Or you can email me at Audrey, Audrey, period, Johnson, Johnson, at EES, for jobs, FORJOBS.com. Audrey period Johnson at EES4jobs.com.
Rashonda, I also added that information in the chat for you. Okay. And Dominique, that's fine. You can definitely reach out to Audrey as well for your additional questions. Alicia has a question. Is the application submission process on a rolling basis?
yes.
Yes, it is.
But again, like David said, it's first come, first serve. So make sure you apply as soon as you can. And if you have questions, just call us. We can actually help you with the process if you run into any snags.
Hi, everyone. Just want to add a little bit to that. Apply as soon as you can, but make sure your application is still thorough and complete. Meaning that don't apply just because you want to make sure you get on the list. Apply once you actually have a good understanding of the trainings that you need and who will be providing those trainings.
Anyone else? Any other questions? We will stay on for the next 3 or 4 minutes. I see we still have 12 attendees.
Mhm.
Alicia, I see your hand up again. Are you wanting to
I'm
ask
sorry.
another? No problem. No problem at all.
I logged off and then came back in. So my comment was, I don't think I'm ready right now, but will be ready in like 6 months. So is there a place where we can check to see if funding is still available?
You call me.
Call you.
Just
Okay.
check in with me. And this the thing. I'm gonna invite you to call me anyway today. Let's have a conversation yet. You may be surprisingly feel like you're ready. So let's talk about it. Like, what is it that you feel is hindering you? And then we can problem solve it from there.
Certainly, certainly. I think I logged off before you added your contact information. I will find you though.
No, it's in the chat.
In the
Then you
chat.
typed it in the
Okay.
chat. Yeah, it's right there in
And
the
I just
chat.
dropped it again.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
feel
For some
free.
reason I can't see it.
Okay, you want to chat down my number real quick?
Yep.
312-380-9933. 312-380-9933.
Thank you, madam. I will call you.
Look forward to it. Have a good day.
You too. Have a great day. Thanks for the opportunity, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dominique, what is the best time to call you today, Ms. Johnson? You can call me right after the you can call me like at 11:15, right after we finish. Not a problem.
Stay on for about 2 more minutes.
Okay, for anybody else that's left, thank you so much for joining. Feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. We're here to serve and to help you guys. Thanks a lot for attending today.
Okay.
Alrighty, have a
Thank
good
you.
day,
Have a good
everyone.
day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.